What's up guys, in this video we do all this work just for 2 motor mounts. So the first thing we have to do to get our 350 into here is cut out these motor mounts. So it looks like there's maybe some weld there. I know there's these bolts, so I think we'll take those out first and try to yank it out. Well, that's awesome. I thought we would have to cut through the welds, but there's some bolt. Alright, so now what we're going to do in order to grind down this and just have room to weld in our motor mounts, I'm going to get rid of all these brake lines. So we're just going to disconnect them completely and take it out. Alright, so off comes the last brake line. So you can take the entire thing out. So that gives us plenty of room to grind this down and start dropping our engine in. Alright, so now it's time for the challenge of actually getting the motor in and determining where to weld in our motor mounts. So the first thing we're going to do is just put it in. Okay, so it's kind of in. I'll cut back to when well, it's straight in there kind of, and we'll have to figure out where our motor mounts are going to go. Alright, so we got it pretty much into, well, we got it kind of into place to where it's actually there. Some issues. Our track bar is literally exactly where the motor mount is. So I don't know what the hell's going on there. Well, the motor might not be in the right place because it's got to be, we'll see. I'm going to get the radiator and our fan, and we'll mock that stuff up, and we'll see how our fit is then. Alright, so now, we're just slinging these bolts in. This thing fits awesome, which is sick.
Alright, we got the grill on. Right now we're just trying to line up the engine, the radiator, and we're just trying to get it at the right position.
Okay, so we got some good news. I referenced an old video, and we don't need that, so we'll just chop it off. It literally never attached to anything the whole time we've had it, so couldn't imagine it being important now. So what we need to do now is we gotta take the grill back out, we gotta pull the engine forward, we're gonna cut that out, as well as this little shield here that's interfering with some clearance, because I'd like to have a finger gap around all parts of the engine, just in case I need to give myself hell if I have to separate the engine transmission. So what we did, we cut it off, and it's pretty flush. There's some scuffs and stuff, but once we welded on the motors out of here, we can really do some cleaning. Okay, so we got the cross member bolted up, and that's just resting in there on its mount. You can see that's in a pretty good spot as well. And we are in between 3 and 5 degrees, but we might let it down a little bit because I'd like to be closer to 3. So yeah, sorry we skipped over a lot of this stuff. It was kind of, I don't know, kind of just a slightly stressful process. But yeah, now what we're going to do is we're going to try to put stuff like the steering shaft in, stuff like that. That way we can make sure we're clearing everything. Alright, so we got our steering shaft in. We're going to put in our steering box because we need to check the clearance of this. Now what we're doing is we're just checking clearance. We're at 4 degrees because I want to be at the highest degree we can be and still be in the range. Therefore we have more ground clearance on the oil pan and stuff like that. So we'll get the steering box in there. Alright, so we got the steering box in, and we have plenty of clearance. And now putting the radiator, or the grill and radiator in to check our clearance. It goes right into that. It goes right over that, yeah. So yeah,
Wow.
we have a lot of room, so this is sick. Alright, so what we're gonna do now is I gotta tack this side. The other side's already tacked, but we gotta get it level. So what we're doing is we're just gonna lift up the motor so it can hinge this way. Alright, so we got some ugly tacks on there. There and here. Whatever. I don't have any weight on this thing yet. So yeah, all our clearances are very good. We got about a finger in the back here. So now, oh yeah, okay. This drive shaft is an inch too short, so that's gonna be expensive to get lengthened. Or I think it's like 100, 200 bucks. This one's like a little bit too long, just a little bit too long to where we have to worry about, like, it fits, but there's no room for travel. So I don't know if you can see that cross member mount where those two bushings are. Now what we have to do is we gotta mark those holes so we can drill the holes in that. Yeah, and then that'll be it. Then we'll be pulling it out. Okay, so tacked up. We got the holes marked on our cross member. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna yank it up and do our final welds. I mean, everything clears. Pretty confident in it. And I'm just gonna weld it up, and I don't think we're gonna test fit it again, just because I don't want to pull this engine out again and put it back in just to take it out. So, I mean, we're pretty confident with its positioning right now. So yeah, we'll weld it up. Alright, so Jason just is drilling that out for where we put our, so here's our cross member bushing. So, or I guess where it mounts the transmission. So we're just drilling out the two holes there. And what I'm doing is, I just wiped this down with acetone. I got it clamped so there's no gap. So yeah, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna preheat it and then I'm gonna weld it up. Alright, so got that hole drilled, and we're doing that one. So while he's doing that, I'm getting some giant welds on this. I'm just trying to melt this motor mount and the front, like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you're welding, I'm basically just trying to melt this motor mount a lot. You know, actually, like, the penetration. I'm kind of disappointed. This, like, I went over this again, and see that, like, grub? It looks so bad. But, you know, now I just have to weld the underside, and I have to weld in those holes right here. So, get that done.
Okay guys, thanks for watching.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be the last fabrication on this. Well, almost the last. We're getting really close to the end where we can send this thing off to powder coat, and then it's just going to be the really fun, or I guess we have body work, but then reassembly. Soon this thing will be back on the road, hopefully. So for weekly uploads, the rest of this build, and some occasional go-kart stuff, you should totally subscribe.